Thieves, the show where we talk about video games every single week and all the things that we love and all the things we hate and all the things that are going on. There's a lot always happening. I'm Ashley.
Hey, I'm Chad.
I'm Adam.
Chad, is this the first time we've had you on?
It is the first time.
Welcome.
I'm so happy. We played Sea of Thieves together yesterday, and we were like, we need to talk about this today.
Absolutely.
So I want to say thank you to Beachbody On Demand for sponsoring this episode. We'll talk more about them in just a little bit, and God knows I need their help right now. But before we get into all that stuff, we're going to talk Sea of Thieves. We're going to talk about all the news. What you been playing?
We talked about this a lot we did a review.
Well, it's like a review-ish.
Review light.
And then we talk about like what we think about how the game works and all the different gameplay elements and stuff, but I don't like the idea of numbering things.
Yeah, there's no number on it, but if I had to put a number on it, it would be good. I'm playing Ni no Kuni 2. There's not too much to say other than what we said in our review, but man, is that game so much fun, and it keeps adding. So if you don't know, Ni no Kuni 2 is the follow-up to Ni no Kuni 1, surprise enough, and it's
What? No.
It's a JRPG that's a cute, whimsical adventure. It invokes the style of Studio Ghibli, even though they're not really involved in this one that much.
But they were for the previous one.
They were for the previous one. It's just so. Knowing what I know now, if I missed out on this game, I'd be so disappointed in myself. This is such a good game. I really recommend it. I'm
really glad that you tried it out. I wanted to do something specific for that video we did, which is I loved the first Ni no Kuni. I've been waiting for Ni no Kuni 2 for years. I've been super excited. I've just been following it and waiting and anticipating, and so I'm predisposed towards liking it. I want to like this game. I'm in. It's also my genre.
Yeah.
But you don't normally play games like this. You don't play a lot of JRPGs. They're not really your bread and butter. But I thought it'd be fun to try, I was predisposed towards liking it. This is out of your comfort zone, and so that way we could both play it and then compare our experiences.
I was really happy that I was in a position where I had to play it, because I will be honest, the first hour of that game, I wasn't really hooked. The first hour felt a little bit rushed, a little bit like there's a lot of just nonsense going on, and it was interesting, but that first hour wasn't something that would have hooked me normally. But because I had to keep going, it led me into the more interesting stuff. In that game, after the first chapter, I feel like the first chapter is kind of like the prologue.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of tutorial, it introduces you to the world, it introduces you to the base main characters, it introduces you to some of the combat elements and how all that works. So it is teaching you a lot of systems in that first hour.
Yeah, but then once it gets into the chapter 2, if you don't know, it's a game about a young king named Evan and his goal.
Oh yes, what should we name our future king?
Yeah, we need
Let's name him Evan.
We need a good fantasy name.
It's like the king before him was like King Leonhard, and it's because we didn't talk about this in the standalone video, but this game is full of wordplay and loves its puns.
Oh, there's literally a city called Allegoria.
Really?
Yeah.
And how a bunch of the items or a bunch of the quests are just stupid wordplay, and
that's always fun. I always appreciate that.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun. But the king, this young King Evan's dad, he was it's spelled like Leonhard, but he was all lionish, so it was really a play on that.
Right.
He's like, and he's all big and impressive, and it's and now we have King Evan.
Well, he's grown up. He's a little cub. He's he has the ears, he has the tail. He's gonna get more stocky as he grows on.
Yeah, well, he's half human too.
Yeah.
But
his brother Steve.
Yes, Prince Steve. Yes. But it reminded me of in Monty Python when it's yes, there are some who call me Tim.
But the game takes you through basically Evan and his friends, who you play as a party, and you can choose which character to primarily play as.
Which is weird too. I don't know if this happened to you, but for me, at least early on, whoever I was playing as felt like the main character. Because I was primarily switching between Evan and Roland.
Yeah.
You get some other party members, Tani and Batu, pretty early on, but I was primarily playing as either Roland or Evan. And when I was playing as Roland, it felt like Roland was the main character, and he's the main character helping Evan.
Yeah.
But when I was playing as Evan, it felt like he's the main character, and he's got a friend named Roland who's helping him.
Yeah,
It was just
specifically
kinda
with
weird.
those two, because of how the story positions them, like you could definitely take it either way.
Yeah.
But the game just takes you through this, like Evan and his friends' quest to like unite all the kingdoms and become friends, and all the kingdoms have super unique aesthetics. Like this one is a casino town, and everything is
everything
based
is
on luck.
casino, and
It looks
there's one that's like oceany, and there's another one that's all techie, and so they're all really varied and really.
There's a sky pirate base. If that doesn't convince you, nothing will. But it's super fun, and the game, even 30 hours in, is introducing not new ways to play, but like new surprises, stuff that like you wouldn't necessarily expect, and add whole new
I was
layers
so
to the
happy when you
game.
got to that part.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to tell you about it when you were asking me. You're like, oh, I don't know how to get to these areas, and I'm like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
I was so excited when that was revealed, and like the game is so driven by like what's in the next kingdom, like how exciting is this next part going to be? And this game is, God, it's so good, but I love it.
But it's also really unique. You know, like JRPGs are usually like a teenage angst fest.
Right, yeah.
In fact, it was a new game plus, I think, recently where we were talking about JRPGs and how we couldn't think of any that weren't angst fest. Should have brought up Ni no Kuni, although that one is a lot sadder. Like the premise of that one is a lot sadder. Like his mom dies and he goes into this other world to try and like find her soulmate to bring her back to life. It's real sad.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's real sad. But this one is like, it's all like, you know, and in the first one too, like optimism is one of the themes.
Yeah.
And this one, like, it's just this optimistic kid who sees the best in everyone. He'll meet a
Yeah.
thief
That's nice.
and he'll be like, give me my stuff back. Now why don't you come live in my kingdom? We could use people with your
Yeah.
skills.
Oh, there you go.
And totally like just reforms everyone he meets, and he just believes the best in everyone, and it's really like, it's charming. It's a nice change of pace.
There's a big difference from the first one then.
Yeah, it's a little simplistic if you are hoping for some crazy, complex Japanese story.
For now, until Evan betrays everyone and turns evil.
Right, evil Evan.
Yes.
But it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
It also has like, it's not just a third-person like RPG action game. Like there are different modes of play. There's like you build your kingdom, because that's what you're doing. You're building a kingdom. So it has a sort of chibi view of a kingdom where you're customizing your kingdom and
Upgrading different buildings.
and recruiting citizens and things like that. And then it has like top-down chibi view of like skirmish battles where you have units of guys that you're moving around to try to like maneuver and fight other units of guys. So it definitely changes the pace up a lot, and it's just super different and interesting, man. I really like it.
It's a fun game. It's just charming as all hell.
Maybe I'll check it out when I can have time to sit down and play a JRPG.
This is short. This is short for a JRPG.
Oh, really?
If you push through the main story, it's 35 hours.
Okay.
There's like, you know, you're talking 80 hours if you want to do all the side stuff too. But it is unusually short for the genre of game.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say I'm 30.
We're just trying to sell you on.
I know. That's what I feel like. I'm like, fuck, I gotta be playing Ni no
I
Kuni.
feel like this is going to be my next Stardew Valley, where I'm like, no. You need to play this, or Persona or something, where just like forever I'll be like, have you heard of our Lord and Savior Ni no Kuni 2?
I think after this game, I do want to visit Persona again.
Okay.
We'll see. I played some of 5. and
Maybe this eased you into the genre, and now you're all about it.
I'm just in the mood for some anime nonsense.
There you go.
Well, Persona 5 can deliver that, and it gets real weird. So, yeah, I've been playing a bunch of that. Beyond Ni no Kuni 2, it's mostly been Sea of Thieves. I've taken a couple breaks out for Final Fantasy X too, but I'm actually not.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I have a problem.
This is an ongoing saga.
This is an ongoing saga. This has been months now, because I started playing Final Fantasy X in January with an aim to platinum it, which I did.
Okay.
Congratulations to me once again. I will keep congratulating myself, because it took 190 hours of my life. Thank you very much. Thank you for the golf claps. And you know, you get to the end of Final Fantasy X, or maybe you don't, since it's not your genre. But you get to the end and you go through like all the, just this emotional, there's the climax and the denouement, and then there's Final Fantasy X-2. And the end of Final
You can hear
Fantasy
the disdains.
X is like, it's kind of like a bittersweet ending, and X-2 gives you hope that you can do something to help one of the characters from X. And so, like, I'm so just riding an emotional high at the end that I was like, I know I don't need to do this. I shouldn't do this, but maybe just the intro of
And then you just
X-2.
keep going.
And yeah, so now I'm well into that, but I'm like, I'm like 15% done.
Okay.
I haven't made a lot of progress since the last one. I think I actually am a little burned out.
After 200 or so hours, yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, I was
Maybe take a break.
I was playing it last night, and I was like, I'm clearly underleveled for this area. I should spend some time running around killing stuff. And then I was like, or you know what? I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
What was the game where you learned your lesson of, oh no, I progressed too far and I'm underleveled? I remember that moment so clearly for me. It was Legend of Legaia, or Legia, whichever you want to call it, back in the PlayStation days. And I was like, I'm enjoying the game. Like, it's got this cool, little robot dude or whatever that's on your hand. Like, I'm going through leveling, I'm just like powering through the story. And then I save right as I get to a boss fight.
Oh no!
And it just beats my ass. I mean, like, I can't do anything. And that's when I realized, like, I shouldn't be fighting this dude. I'm way underleveled, and it keeps restarting me right into the boss fight. And I'm like, oh no, I was younger, I didn't have alternate saves or anything.
No,
and I was like, no,
didn't.
I literally had to stop playing. That's the farthest I ever got to Legend of Legaia. There was this red-haired dude. That's all I remember. And I remember being stuck, and I couldn't ever.
See,
I just had to give up.
This is a different story, but it reminds me of I was playing Oddworld Abe's Exodus on the PlayStation 1, and that's a very challenging game. It's like a timing-based puzzle game that's with some side-scrolling elements, and I hadn't saved in a long time, and I walked into a room, and there was basically, I don't remember what they're called, but it had a guy with a gun, and he was about to shoot me, and I was like, oh, I haven't saved in a while, quick save. And then he shot me, and I was like, oh, I'm dead. And I only had one save, and I would spawn in, bullet, spawn in, bullet. And there's nothing I could do. The bullet was traveling to me as I saved. And I was like, bah, 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 bah. And I was like, I hate my life.
I just imagine you loading, and you're like trying, like you're ready. You're on the button, you're like, and go. And you're like trying to move.
It was,
nothing
dude,
you can
there was
do.
nothing I could do. I cried.
See, I've had this problem a lot. There was one recently, it was Okami, where I hit a game-breaking bug and I ended up losing, it was like an hour and a half, and I was just so mad about it. But one of my main complaints about Ni no Kuni 2, well, I haven't really brought it up, but it is one of the things I'm like, you can only have 32 saves. That's
Only?
Yeah.
Oh, I have this many. I have one.
I'd like to keep a different save every hour.
Oh
my God.
In general, I cycle through 3 saves. I just haven't in this game. I don't know. I probably should just get a couple on there, but
Yeah, I'm now going like back over. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm not gonna reload my 1 hour in save. Like, I'm not gonna start over from that point. So it's fine to overwrite it now, but I'm just so paranoid about all of those games that I just, every hour is a new save, and then that way, because it's, I never know if there's gonna be some game-breaking thing or something I fucked up, and I'm gonna need to load an earlier one before I did that thing.
Did you start that because of that fear, or did you do it because of game capture? Because I know,
no, I don't do it for game.
what we do,
I don't do anything nearly sophisticated enough for game.
Okay, gotcha.
But that's a great idea.
Yeah, because then you have every hour, so if something cool happens at this moment you really want to talk about, you can always go back, and at the very longest, it'll take you like 45 minutes, an hour to get there.
Fun story related to that. You know how we were playing Sea of Thieves yesterday? You came over to the No Studio, Adam was playing, Gus was playing, and I was recording. I forgot to stop recording.
Oh, no.
When we left for the day.
How big was the file?
Well, until the hard drive filled up, and then it stopped, and now I can't do anything with it. So.
dude, I when I walked in,
So I'm not sophisticated enough about game capture to do the game save thing just because I'm paying that close attention, because I'm not.
I walked in after we had stopped playing, and I saw that it was on, but I just figured you knew what you were doing, and I didn't want to.
Nope.
You could have saved it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I stopped making too many saves after Skyrim basically broke.
Oh, because that was the one, it would take longer and longer and longer to load the more saves you had,
Yeah,
right?
it was a fucking mess.
Yeah. And that one, I think, is probably a good way to do the 3 rotating, even though that's one of those games, too, where you're probably going to encounter some sort of crazy-ass bug that you'd like to have an earlier save.
Yeah.
In Morrowind, I got stuck in a fence.
No.
Yeah, I was just jumping over a fence, and I was like, no! And I hadn't saved in a while. I was doing everything I could, and all I could do was look at the NPCs coming by, like, help me!
You couldn't teleport? Could you use that potion where you jump real high?
No, it wouldn't let me do anything. Like, I could not
You were
get out.
mid-jump, so you couldn't do an
I couldn't do
action.
anything. It was awful.
Video games. I have a friend that if there is a bug in the game, he will accidentally find it.
Oh, really?
It's like a
There's
curse,
some people
dude.
who really enjoy breaking games and are good at it. Really
but
good.
It's not like
It's just his
totally
curse.
inadvertent. It's a curse. It's terrible. Like anytime we load up a new game, like when we started to play Orbis VR together, it took him about an hour and a half to just make an account, because when he made his account, it said his credentials were invalid, and no matter what he did, he couldn't log in. I had to tweet support and be like, please help my friend, he's broken. And they fixed it for him. But yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. That's what I've been playing recently. Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm a big fighting game fan.
Nice.
So like.
You're R1. None of us play fighting games.
None of you guys
Nice.
play fighting games? Seriously?
No,
that's
it's too intimidating.
We're too busy spending 100 hours on a stupid chair.
Yeah, so Dragon Ball FighterZ came out. It's an incredibly awesome game. And like I've just been training up and, just kind of getting my muscle memory trained in for all the combos that I need. So like that's a really key part of like being good at fighting games, is just like doing like your character's combos over and over and over again, so that when you don't have to think about the execution, and then it's just like you're focusing on the strategy of what the other person's doing, and so when you open them up, then you're focusing on like what's going to happen next, and you just kind of go through the motions, right?
See, that training element sounds like my idea of hell.
See, and it's so much fun to me, because like when like this is how I played Dragon Ball FighterZ. It came out, I loaded it up, and the first thing I did was just walk over to training. Like I didn't do anything, I didn't do the story, I didn't go online, I just went into the practice mode that just let me get my characters.
Who's your character?
So right now I'm playing Cell. I'm back and forth between Beerus and Trunks, and then I switched to Android 16 because that character is broken as hell.
Is it?
In a good way.
No, I mean like, yeah, I mean he's like ridiculously overpoweredly broken right now. Because I was playing Goku Black, and then I switched Android 16 in because he does an absurd amount of damage. Like using basically, you can get up to 7 meters, and like just using like 3 meters, you can do like 70% of a person's health pretty easily.
So this is the kind of game too where they'll be rebalanced in the future.
Yes.
So taking a character like that you know is going to get nerfed.
Oh yeah.
Is risky.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then it's just an opportunity to, I'll learn somebody else as well. Like, I started playing without him, and then, like, I'll say he's just really fun to play, because he just, like, he starts a combo, and then he slams people into the ground, and then you pick him back up. It's just really satisfying to just slam people down. So I'm having fun with the character now. I'm sure he'll get nerfed, but hopefully he'll just get balanced, and then it'll be fine. But that, and then I love Overwatch, and I'm a Roadhog and a Reinhardt mainly, and then they just released Brigitte, and she's, like, this kind of perfect hybrid of those characters. So
Is she your new baby?
yeah, I love Brigitte.
She's
really
adorable
excited.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, look, all the characters are pretty adorable.
Yeah.
They do a good job of that with Overwatch, I think.
Definitely. But yeah, oh man, like she's super fun. Like the flail's really good, and just
Do you
like,
follow the eSports side of Overwatch much?
not too much. Like I've started to a little bit, and that's because my friend Justin Rojas used to work at Funimation. He's now doing PR for Dallas Fuel.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So like because of that, I'm like, you know what? I should like follow some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I started watching some of the Overwatch League, and then I found myself, I went to a couple games that even Dallas Fuel wasn't a part of, and I was just like, this is cool. It happens to be on. Like that's a fun thing to do.
You're gonna be so into it in no time, aren't you?
Well, no, we'll see. I'm keeping it real casual. Like I wanted them to win because my friends invested in it, and then now it's just like, man, that guy's way better than me. Like, oh, cool, I didn't know. Like, you could actually be that accurate with some of the McCrees in the Overwatch League. It's insane. Like, they're just immediately, it's just like right onto the head super fast every time, and I'm just like, it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's always fun watching pros because you realize that they're playing a completely different game than everyone else.
Yep.
It's like when like if they're competing or like they're practicing with that character on specific maps 8 hours a day, it is an art form.
Yeah.
Like at that point it's like your muscle memory with combos.
Yeah.
They're not like the getting the headshot
It just goes there.
Yeah.
They know what to do. It's crazy.
That's the automatic thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and the only other thing is I've started to slowly slip back into World of Warcraft again, so we'll see where that goes.
You know what? You and Gus.
Really?
I think Gus has started it up again. He said he was planning on it.
I'm thinking about going back for the next expansion. I missed out on Legion because of a number of reasons, but the next one.
So here's the cool thing about Legion. They did some really, like they started to do it in World of Draenor, but they've really done a good job of making like questing up to like the next 10 levels or whatever be really, really like intuitive and interactive. So like you could, in Legion, you could kind of go any zone you wanted, and the mobs would just scale around you. So you could go through them in any way you want, and the stories for the quest lines are actually really cool, and they'd go into all these cinematic cutscenes and stuff. It's really cool because the game's come a really long way in regards to that. But like I was a hardcore like vanilla player, so I've spent so much time in WoW. Like you guys don't even want like my main
What's your
warrior.
Slash played?
Just my warrior. I think I have like 300 something days.
Jeez.
And then I've got a couple other characters too. So yeah, like we used to play that a lot. I'll never put that much time into WoW again, but it's pretty cool. And like that's what's so awesome about like having like transmog and stuff in the game now is like if you did put in that time and you still had some of that gear, you can kind of do that to show off. So like this probably won't mean anything to you guys if you don't play, but like I have a corrupted Ashbringer, which was
I know about the lore of the Ashbringer.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I got that back in the day, and so it's not in the game anymore. They took the instance out, and it had a really low drop rate initially.
But you have it?
Yeah. So it was really cool because it was one of the few weapons that would actually change the game around you. You could go to Scarlet Monastery, and when you would go in there, all the NPCs that would normally be trying to attack you would turn friendly, and they'd bow and worship you.
That's crazy.
And then you get to go see like a really cool like cutscene about what happened in the past with Ashbringer and things like that.
That's super cool.
Yeah, but then they updated the game, and they changed it, and then they broke the hell out of it. So like it's just this cool aesthetic thing now, but it's fun. And yeah.
At least you got to see your cutscene and you got to make monsters bow.
I did, yeah.
Did you record that?
Oh yeah, I have a very shitty old Fraps recording of us going through there after I got it, so.
Well, one of the other things that we've all been playing together, we talked about this a little bit, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. But before we do, I want to say big thank you to Beachbody On Demand for sponsoring this episode of Glitch Please. Beachbody On Demand is an easy-to-use streaming service that gives you instant access to a wide variety of super effective workouts you can do from the comfort of your living room 24/7. This is the company behind P90X, Insanity, 21 Day Fix, and more. So get motivated by celebrity super trainers you know, like Sean T, Shalene Johnson, Tony Horton, and several more. There are hundreds of workouts for all fitness levels, ranging from bodybuilding to weight training to cardio, HIIT, which is a thing. I don't know enough about fitness to know that if it's just HIIT or what, but they got yoga, they got dance workouts. You can watch them on your computer or a web-enabled TV, which I've got in my living room, which makes it really, really handy, a tablet or a smartphone. Whatever. You can join over 1 million people currently on Beachbody On Demand. So I've started using this. I talked about this on a previous episode of Glitch Please that I'm trying to I need to get fit again, and I'm trying to gamify. I've been doing cardio, and in fact, Ni no Kuni 2 is a great treadmill game, but I need more than that. And because I've been spending time on the treadmill, my leg muscles get super tight. So I've started doing this 3-week yoga retreat that they've got. It's pretty dope. Every workout's like 30 minutes long, so it's really easy, and it's nice to be able to do them when I get home because that way I have no excuses. It's easy to not go to the gym if you get home. That's it.
Oh yeah, once you sit, that's when you're like, oh.
Yeah, so it's nice to get home and say, look, I get it. I have no excuse. It's right here. And so I do it, and it's nice, and it doesn't take any crazy equipment or whatever. So I want everyone else to try Beachbody On Demand too. It's very accessible, and then that way we can all cheerlead each other on because it is spring now, my dudes. And that means summer is coming, and I'm not prepared for a shorts season. I've put on several extra layers over the winter. So you don't need to sit in traffic or just like go to the gym or deal with any of that. You can bring the gym to you. Right now, Glitch Please listeners can get a special free trial membership when you text GLITCH to 303030. You'll get full access to the entire platform for free. That's all the workouts, nutrition information, and the support totally free. So just text GLITCH to 303030 and you'll get access to it. And it's pretty awesome. I like things that help me keep fit so that I can do other stuff.
Yeah.
Because I spend so much time on my ass playing my video games.
Totally.
That I gotta balance that out. I get too hedonistic. So this is a great way to stay fit. And with that, let's talk about some other butt-sitting things that we do, like pirating.
Your segue. Oh, you could have done booty.
I
could have been sitting on your booty. You could have talked about booty.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
So close.
So close. But we have been getting that booty.
Yeah, we have.
So we actually, I've been playing Sea of Thieves since the beta. This is the new game from Rare. It's been in development for several years now. I remember seeing the first glimpse I ever got of Sea of Thieves was, I think it was an E3 montage of Xbox games, and there was just this slice. It can't have been more than a second of something on what looked like a pirate ship. And it didn't have a name. I don't even know that it was officially announced yet, but I remember going, what's that? That thing, what is it? And then they revealed it. They showed it at E3. We've talked to the developers at E3 pretty much like every year that we could because we're really excited about it. We're like practically besties with one of the devs now. I think his name is Mike Chapman. He's the one we've interviewed like every single time. And just always being like, tell us more. And there was one year where they were like, that's a nice question. I can't answer that.
That's always fun to play.
For like 20 minutes.
I always love playing the game with the PR guys, and you try and get something out of them, and how good are they at deflecting the questions?
Turns out they're real good. But I've been following this because I've been looking forward to it. Went into not the technical alpha, but went into the beta and played that a couple of weeks. And now the game has just released. It came out 2 days ago, and it's got some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aside from the game itself, the game gave me a terrible first impression.
Same here.
So I generally play games alone, and this is it is a game based around primarily playing with your friends.
It is. It's an online pirate game.
Right.
It's open world pirating.
And PvP is.
I mean, booty hunting. I mean, god damn it. So basically, you log in.
Yep.
And it is online.
Do you log in?
And there's a wild Bernie. Hey, Bernie, we're talking Sea of Thieves. You should come talk about Sea of Thieves with us.
I will come talk about Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, just get in
I'm
here.
gonna drink some chat's cocktail.
Okay,
first.
sure.
Yeah, do you wanna?
I've been sick,
I'm gonna
so
grab a
heads
drink.
up.
I'll be right back. Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll allow it.
Is that
We'll
good?
allow it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's an online game.
Yeah.
You can play by yourself in a tiny little sloop, or with a friend in the tiny little sloop, or you can have a party of 4 people, and then you get a big old galleon,
Yes.
and that's got 4 cannons on each side instead of 1 on each side, like the little baby ship.
Yeah.
has.
So, when you start the game, aside from the weird character selection process, they should just have a
The character selection process is super weird.
They basically
It really
just spawn 5 pirates, and they're like, pick a pirate that you like, or generate 5 new ones. And you see bits and pieces from the pirates that you see, and you're like, I want this together. But you have to just keep
that one's got
generating
some sweet gams.
But so the game basically presents it to you, and it's like,
Hey,
do you want to sail?
yeah, come on in.
Do you want to sail
I'll
on?
split you like this.
Do you want to sail on a garbage little ship or a badass big ship?
You know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
though?
But this is that's how the game presents it.
The little
It's like-
garbage ship is kind of fun though.
I'm not saying it's not.
We play on our garbage little ship and we like it. Thank you.
I'm exclusively talking about my first impression.
How dare you?
The game is like, this is a cool ship. You're gonna get to go on grand adventures, and it's gonna be awesome. Or you can do a small ship. And I was like, I'll try the big ship. So I tried the big ship, and I load in. And my screen goes to the loading screen, and the first thing that happens is I spawn in a cell. And so my first thought is I was like, oh, this is how the game starts. You start in a cell. Let me figure out how to get out of this cell. Fun, cool. And then I see my crewmates come down. They're looking at me, and they go. And I'm like, what's happening? And I was like, I can't interact with anything. There's a lantern. If I turn off the lantern, nothing happens. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And
It's like a puzzle game.
There's nothing. There's no way to unlock the door. And I was like, all right. So I took a second. I googled. I'm like, Sea of Thieves spawn in jail, and it was like, Sea of Thieves players are trolling other members by voting them into the brig before they even start. And I'm like, fucking awesome. So I quit the game. I did the same thing. I loaded into another galleon, and I spawned. This time I had weapons, because before I had spawned without weapons, because I spawned immediately into jail. And
That's also
so I spawned, and I was like, cool, I have weapons. And then one of my crew members runs up to me and goes, burp, 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 and then I'm in jail. Like, motherfucker! And it happened again on my third one. I was like, I guess I'll just try the small ship.
Do a small ship. That's the right
But it's just
solution.
like, what a fucking shitty thing.
It is.
But
it's
I will say
unfortunate.
playing with multiplayer, it got
It's
better.
fun to vote your friends in the brig.
Yeah. So that's true. It's unfortunate because playing with randoms kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I've tried playing with randoms twice. I totally got brigged as well. But the game doesn't give you an option to make your your match invite only, like your ship, your party.
No. And in addition to that, there's no such thing as a match where you're not in the same sea as other players who can kick your butt.
As in, there's no peaceful mode.
There's no PvE,
it's all PvP. PvP enabled at all times.
Because it seems like a happy, friendly game.
Right.
Almost family friendly. But there's no option to turn off PvP in any way whatsoever.
Nope.
If you see somebody, they can kill you.
Yeah, you'd think that you could, if you as you set up your ship to set sail, you'd be like, I want a peaceful ship, and it would load you into a peaceful server. or if you want to do all PvP all day. Because honestly, the PvP is pretty fun.
It is, but I would 100%.
Well, when you win, it is.
Right.
Honestly, but like even if you get sunk,
Yeah, we had fun syncing yesterday.
I would honestly like really enjoy. I know this is a PvP game, but if they had a mode where I could just sail around on my lonesome and go to islands by myself, I would like that a lot. Just as for the single player portion of the game, and for multiplayer, I don't mind playing PvP.
Well, I think if you get the sloop with the single person, I think it feels like they spawn less people in those worlds.
I see, and that's one thing that I think the game really could use, and it could fix both these problems, and that's just like letting you choose a server or lobby or whatever it is where you can see population, because that was one thing. Like I played the first night I played, we loaded in. I actively tried to find people to like fight or whatever.
Right.
Never saw anyone. Right. And so if at least I could like look at the lobby and be like, oh well, there's 3 people playing in this one, like, and then you could join that, and you're probably not gonna run into them, right?
Yeah.
Or you can go to one that's got like, oh, there's like 40 people or whatever. I just have no idea how many people get loaded into a world with you. It seems like totally random.
Did you play the
I
betas?
actually have some information on that.
Oh really?
The way that Rare's servers are programmed and balanced, it averages out the players across all the servers. All the servers are synced, so like day and night on every server is always going to be the same. So while you're sailing, you can seamlessly transition between servers. You won't get kicked out and like have to load into a new server or anything like that. So like when you hear a music cue while you're sailing, that means that you're transitioning servers to a new server. The way the game loads and balances is it takes all of these players and tries to average them out across all the servers. With right now, Rare saying the average being around 16 people per server, so usually about 4 max-sized crews.
interesting.
Okay.
Which I feel like in the beta we did see the seas being more populated than we've seen since launch, but that's also something that I expect they'll be adjusting. That there's a lot of the ups and downs of the game right now that are their launch things that will get ironed out. Things like it took us 1 billion years to connect yesterday, and by 1 billion I mean a couple minutes. But
It was 30 minutes for us to start playing to get into a match, and there were some other
that's true,
problems.
but
Beta
that's
was way
because
worse,
we were figuring out party chat, because I was on Xbox, you guys were all playing on PC, and that's actually pretty dope. I love that it's just the crossplay is you use your Xbox Live account. We had no problems getting into a game together or talking to each other or working together, and it was all great. Except I got to be the captain, and I don't know why.
Except there's another problem with that too, is that it's primarily a 4-player game.
Yeah.
And the experience is geared towards that, which is why I think when you show up and they say good ship or lousy ship, they're trying to push you into like crews and everything like that, and especially with your friends. I'm constantly amazed playing Fortnite, Battlegrounds, now Sea of Thieves that go back and forth between PC and Xbox. More people on PC have mics than an Xbox. Xbox ships with a headset.
That's true.
And nobody on Xbox has a headset.
And
You
they
can talk.
connect too.
They can't, and then they can't chat either.
Yeah.
They can't do the text chat, which I don't even know if people on. We should test this. We should see if
don't think
if text chat goes over to Xbox. It might not.
I mean, well,
Because I
voice-
think it's just got
voice
those like
chat
preset. It's just got the
communication
preset
wheel?
Oh, are you
things.
saying there's actual like a text box?
There is. I found it.
Oh,
when we were
I
doing
had no
yesterday.
idea.
I was trying to remember what it was to pull out my instrument, so I was just like hitting keys, and I think it was like T or something, and it pulled up a little
I
text
say
box.
T or Y or something like
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's but otherwise like the play is pretty seamless between the two platforms. Like I was playing on Xbox, I didn't feel like I was handicapped in terms of aiming, because unless you're aiming a cannon, it's not super, like it's not all super precise, and it's not super important. Like you're not going to be running around headshotting your skeletons left and right. But that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, beyond my first impression, after that, like that night, 2 nights ago,
You were mad.
I was pissed, dude. I was like, this game is a hot pile of garbage.
Yeah.
And then we had a scheduled like playtime yesterday with 4 of us, and that was like a completely different experience. And it was actually really fun. Like, having 4 people go on missions together, like we had to work together to sail the boat. Like one of us was on the lookout, one of us was sailing, one of us was doing the sails, the other person was navigating, and like just that experience is super fun. But it's just such a stark difference between solo and group play.
Yeah, the group play, like if you get a good group together, it makes all the difference. Like we have we basically like use the boys, and we're like, hey, let's all play Sea of Thieves. Hey, we need a 4-man crew.
Yeah.
And then that way, like that's the game that we all play together. And with the 4 of us, like all in a room shouting at each other, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty shouty.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like even during the beta, there's a lot of emergent stories that happen too. Like there was one episode, it was during the beta, where we ran across a French crew, right?
Yeah.
And did we sink them first or did they sink us first?
So that's a big debate. They were on our ship.
Oh, yes, the debate.
And then they shot somebody. They were literally just on our ship talking to us.
And they were in the crow's nest, weren't
yeah.
they? Yeah.
And they were talking to us, and we were having a great conversation with them. And then something happened where JD might have punched him or something, or hit him with a sword. I mean, and then all I know is I saw him shoot at JD, and then it was like
It's on.
It was like it descended fast. Yeah, it's an international incident.
Yeah, and then so we kept sinking each other and like following each other around the seas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And eventually we lost them. Maybe we'd server transitioned. I don't know.
Yeah, we got pretty brutal too. I mean, you always have those fun moments, which is great. It's
Was that the one where you snuck on their ship and you kept killing everyone repeatedly and eating all their bananas?
Yeah, I just would go down and eat their bananas, and then then they would respawn, and I would kill them, and then I just drove their ship into a bunch of rocks.
That's the
sank their
best.
ship. Yeah. I have a new thing that I did though that I liked, where I was on a one-person sloop, and a two-person sloop attacked me, and they sunk me, and I was like, "Fuck, son of a bitch." So I went back. So I was trying to dig up treasure. I went back there. They were still there. And then they started running, and I thought, I'm just going to ram them. So I rammed them. Then I jumped off onto their ship, and then I saw their chests there. And I thought, I could see their chests. And I thought, and I just grabbed their chest and jumped off the ship and dropped it in the ocean. And then
Is it lost when it's in the ocean?
I don't know, but they were moving, so we're getting back to it anytime soon. So it's little fun stuff like that. But man, it's aggravating when you spend an hour getting like 4 or 5 chests or skulls or whatever. Yeah. Fucking chickens, which I hate. And then you feel the loss when your ship sinks, and you're like, well, that could have been something, but now it's nothing.
We had that happen because
we had skulls, right?
Yeah, I had like this, kill this elite pirate skeleton or whatever, right? So we kill him, we get this skull, and Ashley's all excited. She's like, I haven't gotten one of these before. So we put it on the ship, and then we're like, there's some people, let's fight them. And she's like, well, maybe we should drop off the skull. And then we're like, no, let's do it. So we just get into this all-out battle, and then we get sunk.
They were they were way better at maneuvering their ship than us.
Yeah, we tried to do that sweet Tokyo drift where you drop the anchor and then and we're gonna try and like just do this epic move where you like fire all 4 cannons at them as it swings around. And we did, and that was really cool, except then our anchor was down.
Yeah.
And so then we were trying to raise it to get out of the way and get moving again, and it was all over. And then we went down.
There was definitely
a lot of
real
cool.
We did.
Our captain in that scenario got very angry. She's like, no one is turning the sails. We need to set the sail angle.
And I'm just like, I'm hitting them with the cannon. And then we started sinking, and I'm like, Adam, shoot me out of a cannon to safety. I'll board him. And it didn't happen, unfortunately.
But it's cool. You do have those moments. It's like really fun.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
Seems like gaming is kind of leaning that way now. Like Battlegrounds. Fortnite's a little more fast-paced, but Battlegrounds is like, I feel like it's like 10, 15 minutes of setup, and then a massive fight that lasts about 45 seconds, and then it's over.
Yeah.
That's the way Battlegrounds feels to me, unless you like drop at school or something like that. This is kind of the same way. It's like you just sail for a long time. It's nice and relaxing. And then you have these really cool moments that make all the other stuff worthwhile, I think.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the game not having any progression aside from being able to unlock cosmetic items?
Well, that's the problem.
I feel like, you can tell that Rare is trying to go very approachable and very friendly to like new players, like even non-hardcore gamers with this game, which is things like, hey, here's the character just generated for you. Just go ahead and pick it and just pick the size of the ship, and then, hey, you're in the game. No need to look at servers to see what all the server loads are. Or go down the settings. We don't even have any.
Yeah, there's like no menu options in the game.
Right. So they tried to make it really simplified, and the lack of progression is part of that. Any new player can load in and be on the same power level as anyone else.
And I think they really created a problem there, because like while that's really nice for like a few games, like because they don't want somebody to load in and somebody have this like decked out warship that you could never possibly do.
Suddenly there's like eight cannons aimed down at you.
But that's just like balance, matchmake. Like put people in similar skills or similar gear level like matches.
Right, and I think it would need that. And they're gonna need to do something like that, because as of right now, like you said, you had a bad taste the first time. I did too. Then we had some fun playing together.
Would you have gone back to it at all if we hadn't scheduled that session?
I will not go back to it at all still, because I don't have anyone to play with. So if I'm playing alone,
I'll play with you, man.
All right.
You can play with
but it's not an experience for solo players. And if they had something for me to like, either just play without anyone else on the server, or something to work towards that's not just cosmetics. I like the cosmetics, but you're going to spend like 18 different treasure missions to get one thing. And
Yep.
I would love to be able to earn different types of ships. Like maybe you get like a really cool, look, I don't know ship names, I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, but like a cutter or something
Cutter,
that
yeah.
like goes really fast through the water. And so, you know, you're not heavy cannons, you're not gonna be able to take on like a ship of the line, but you can escape and you're really nimble and you can get around in the rocks really easy and do that. Or you get the big ass ship that's got like 12 cannons but is not moving.
totally. I mean,
I'm just trying to think of all the ships I remember from Sid Meier's Pirates.
Yeah.
Aircraft carrier, right? No.
Get a submarine.
So suddenly we're sky pirates.
Yeah.
the real problem is like if you have an outfit you really like, then you have no more reason to do anything because all you're doing is you get treasure chests, you sell the treasure chests for gold to get more basically treasure maps to go find more treasure chests.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's nothing to do. But the emergent gameplay is super fun with friends. But yeah, that can only last for so long.
Here's the way I was thinking about that. The game feels like, after one day, it feels like it's all of the grind, none of the payoff, none of the progression, right? And it does. I don't know what it is about this game. It immediately feels like you're in the grind because you have these 3 different reputation levels, and you're doing these things where you get these little dribs and drabs.
You can level them up, but all the leveling up will do will give you access to other missions that will give you more gold that still don't give you anything except
You do
the cosmetics.
fight better enemies, and like the gold hoarder missions, they do get more interesting. Like you get the riddles and things like that.
The riddles are cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we did a riddle mission yesterday, but yes, as you get these higher level, like these higher tier voyages, they'll be like something, and they'll basically give you a location, or you have to figure it out, and then you get there, and it'll give you another clue, but it's like, you know, find the crab, and then go 8 paces north by northeast.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you go that way, and so you're following it along, which is, you know, it's like the old school like treasure maps you'd think of. And so that stuff is a little bit more fun
Yeah, I
than
just
just go here, red X.
right, but I mean, how long is it going to take you to experience all that? You know?
See,
And then-
that's the problem with this game is not long. I feel like the core loop is fun, but and we'll be able to enjoy just being like, hey, we're gonna play as a family for a little while, and we can play this. This is easy. We know what we're doing. We know the experience we're gonna get, but I'm not gonna feel like the need to keep checking in as is.
Right.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is the game has such good bones.
Yes, it does.
Like it is a great structure for a game. And
Maybe
it's
maybe a
beautiful
skull and bones?
Skull and bones, yeah. Like sailing the ship is such a fun like group activity. Like the idea of sailing around with your friends as pirates is great, but like there's just nothing to it really.
Now, the developers keep saying as well, they're like, we've got plans. We're going to add all this stuff. We're going to change all this stuff. And I feel like the best thing they could do right now is within the week, drop one of those next things.
Yeah.
If they have it.
If they've got stuff ready, if they've got stuff planned out, and they're like, here's going to be like our next drop, and it's ready to go, drop it.
So she was saying this last night. So out of curiosity,
Look,
I went back.
Just make the stuff. Game development is easy, right?
Well, I went back and watched the E3 2015 announcement for the game, and it looks just like it does today. Like the core already looks like it's there and everything. So it makes me wonder, what was the last 3 years of refinement and development?
Yeah, I mean,
do they have these things sitting in their pocket? You know, because
They're
if
saying
they
that
don't
they
have
want
them, it's
this
going to
game
take them
to
a
go for
long
years and
time.
years.
It's going to take them a long time to make them, though. If it took them this long to get to where they are now.
And that's the thought. It's like you've been working on this game for 4 years, and this is the amount of content. I'm not going to wait another 4 years for another 5 hours of content.
Right, and also that's a really risky thing to do whenever games release
Yeah,
like
this
this,
is-
because
this is the-
you get all the buzz.
This is the announcement trailer. This looks
Yeah.
a little
you
better
get,
than.
yeah, like you
Well,
get.
I'm sure some of it's pre-rendered
Yeah,
stuff,
totally.
but like the ships look the same. There were as many sharks in the water as they were during the
Water's
beta.
still gorgeous.
There's only one shark at a time now.
That ship looks cooler.
That's
It's got
different
sails.
sails.
Well, see,
yeah.
that's the cool thing is they didn't have this in the beta, and I remember thinking, hey, it'd be really cool if you can customize your ship.
Yeah.
And now you can. It's really expensive. I feel like that's where they're trying to get people to put a lot of their early earnings is in customizing a real sick ship. I did see one that was posted online that was all black and red. It was like 400,000 gold put into customizing this ship.
Can you get like a neon kit for below, like an underglow?
Yeah, there you
Get a
go.
lift kit. Get it out of the water. Get it out of the water.
You make it jump in the water. No, but so when games do this and they release like we've got the solid bones and we've got so much plans for the future, like it's such a gamble because right now all the eyes are on the game. And
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get that first experience. And there's a lot of people who will give it one shot. And they will, like, I checked it out and I'm like, okay, like this was kind of fun. I played it a couple times, but like
Now you're
I
done.
don't see, they could make so many awesome changes in the future. And I don't know.
You just won't come back.
I don't know if I'll come back.
Especially if it's like a drip feed where they're like, well, we added another ship type, guys.
Yeah.
And you log on, you're like, all right, cool, this is a new ship, you're right.
And now I've seen what new there is.
Yeah, this has
in it.
been a month in the making, you've given me a ship, great. But
Here's how you fix the game: 100 ships, one ocean, battle
You
royale.
all drop
last-
into one.
I would love that.
it's super not like
You know it's coming, right?
Yeah, it's totally not out of the question. Oh man.
I mean,
That-
the ocean
that-
shrinks. It's drying up.
Yeah, exactly right. The ocean, it's a metaphor.
Climate change.
Global warming.
This is also not an early access game. This is not like a cheap game. This is a $60 game.
It is.
And in
However-
other countries, it's even more. Like it's been like inflated in certain countries to like $80.
Yar.
Although I have a theory. I don't know that Microsoft wants you to buy this game. I think Microsoft wants you to subscribe to Game Pass.
Game Pass and
I was gonna say,
try
I
it.
think they do.
I think that it's because, and this is anecdotal, but we did a story yesterday on the launch troubles that the game's been having that, within a day of launch, people are already saying I'm out of things to do, there's nothing new here, it's too shallow, and also people having trouble connecting,
Yep.
which, not great. Par for the course for an online game, still not good to have. And the number of people, I speculated that perhaps part of the server load was because a lot of times developers will, they'll try and predict out how many people are going to be playing the game on launch day based on pre-orders.
Sure.
How many people have pre-ordered it? Let's prep for 10 times that many. But then you get this free 7-day Game Pass trial. And the number of people in the comments saying, yeah, me and like 10 of my friends all just signed up for a Game Pass trial to play this game.
Yeah.
And that's just it's anecdotal. I don't have any like hard stats on that, but a lot of people have tried that, which may have contributed to them not being prepared for the server load, which is why we had so many problems.
Battle Royale is free. Anybody can download it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who plays a lot of MMOs, those sort of problems are pretty much like gonna happen. It's almost guaranteed.
It's the only criticism that I don't identify with. I love this game. I love it. I completely understand everyone's criticism with them, and I agree with them. But for some reason, I still like the game. I love the game, and I'll load it up and play it. But yeah, the one criticism that I don't agree with is people like, how did this happen? How did an online game launch and there were connection issues? It's
Always
because
happens.
it's an online game, and it literally happens every single time.
Yeah, it happens every time, and you can't if you accommodate the amount of people that you think you might have at launch with your servers, you're going to spend too much money. Like it just costs too much to scale up that much. Even on like rented hardware, like it's just too much money.
Yeah.
So that's why most of the time, like, yeah, it's going to happen, and we'll deal with it.
At South by Southwest was happening recently, and I did like a fireside chat with Player Unknown about Battlegrounds. And one of the things that I really want to talk to him about, because it fascinated me, is just the unexpected, like no one expected that game to grow the way it did.
Sure.
It came out, I'm sure they hoped it would do well, and then it just went insane. No one thought, like they didn't even plan their code to handle more than 1 million concurrents because they thought that was impossible to get.
Yeah, because it's not like it hadn't been done before.
Right, and so I was asking him, I was like, how do you do that? And he's like, we basically spun up every server in Asia,
Jeez.
and it wasn't enough. We ran out of servers in Asia to handle the number of players, and like that is a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. And it also is one of those things too that you're right. Even if you rent it, like the demand calms down, things even out. Everyone's not trying to get on at the exact same time, and then what are you left with? A bunch of server junk.
Right.
Although I'm sure Microsoft can roll things around to different games too.
Yeah, I mean, they can. There's definitely
just
ways
pick up
to
a
like
server and like
there's
roll it
definitely-
into the Gears of War room and.
There's definitely ways to get around it.
That's
It's
how
just
that works,
it's really
right?
Yes,
costly,
totally.
but at the same time, like I can't imagine a company spending the bajillion dollars it would cost to accommodate for the day one players when it's just like after the first day, no one cares because it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah, and a bunch of people
Like
fall off.
it's already we were playing a little bit last night, had no trouble.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I did
I'm not
find
trouble connecting.
some information kind of like hinting at what's next. There was an interview with Joe Neat, one of Rare's executive producers on the game, with US Gamer a while ago when they dropped information like that there's going to be like pet DLC and a whole bunch of other stuff. In this article, it mentions that they're looking at the first big major update to be like within 3 months after the game launches.
Too long.
Yeah.
It's too long, and if they try to sell me anything more for this game, I'll lose my shit.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a $60 game for very little content.
From what it says here,
they cannot
there's,
sell more
there's
stuff.
they want players to be going after the whole like legendary status with the pirates. For the
But
first
what does
few
it
months.
do?
That's all it says here.
Yeah, you got to become a legendary pirate. I don't know why. You do it though.
And then after 3 months, they're going to roll out like hideouts, pets, all this other stuff. But then when asked about like players, there was an AMA on Reddit, and players asked like, "Hey, can we get like a 12-month roadmap of the game?" Joe Neat, the same producer that did that interview, replied, "I think we're only ever likely to cover a few months ahead to maintain mystery, so you can be surprised and delighted, and so we can be reactive. Things will change as Sea of Thieves evolves. We want to have the time to reveal what the features mean for players before we can put them in their hands."
We just really want that sense
I've
of reward and
definitely been
accomplishment.
surprised, not delighted, but surprised.
I have a wish list, things that I would like to see, which is like more like modes and mini activities you can do. Like a ship race would be dope. Like you and another ship have to race head to head to try and like deliver cargo to this other place. Whoever can get there the fastest.
Yeah, especially that'd be cool with adjusting the sails and who can navigate the wind the best,
that's a totally like unique weird thing. It does require like another team to essentially sign up for it, so that's a challenge. But we were talking about this last night. One of the things that I think would really help, because right now there is no urgency to when do I need to play again? Whenever. It's not like it matters. But if they had like weekly events where there's some thing,
find the ghost ship that's like going around.
Yeah,
right?
like ace skin, whatever. Yeah, find the ghost ship. It's like some crazy like boss thing, and then you get a special. It might be cosmetic because that's the direction they're going for now.
At this point.
Or like a bunch of gold. Maybe you get like a sail that's only ever given out for that one thing.
The day one patch. I was surprised that there's no like NPC controlled ships, stuff that you can just have a little fight with.
That's true.
But
just the skeletons.
Yeah,
right,
like a skeleton ship would be
just
cool.
I mean, that's what I would want out of the game is like a PvE option, so I can just play with my buddy and we go around and fight off enemy ships and collect treasure just together without. I understand that people love PvP and this is a PvP game, but there's always going to be someone that like ruins your good time. And like, I've gotten 6 chests after this hour and a half and I lost them. Like,
PvP is a lot of fun, but it also does attract a subset of people whose idea of fun is ruining other people's day.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a running list on the subreddit of like things fans and players really want to see changed. A lot of them that I'm seeing on the list here are like adding a personal hideout that you can add decorations and have
So, and it sounds like that's on the roadmap.
That
so
sounds
that's
like it's on the
pretty
roadmap. A rework for the PvP mechanics. It says right now it's a board at the moment with no risk and no reward. Asking for some kind of maybe like a PvP leaderboard where maybe like if you're the top pirate that has sunk 6 ships and you haven't been sunk yet, mark them on the map.
I want? I want a bounty on that guy.
Yeah.
And also, like,
quests.
it's something that makes it harder. Like, you can see their ship from further away.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah, quests.
Or there's
like
a giant arrow in the
NPCs.
sky going like this.
Lightning starts to hit their mast.
Put a target on their back so you can send every player on that server after them. Unlockable shanties, stuff like that. But
More
like
weapons.
it seems like Rare's keeping an eye on the subreddit and this running list of things. So hopefully that will pay off 3 months down the line.
System.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be cool if the going for the reputation or the levels essentially in the different things helped you like specialize. So like if you went in the Mystic Order, you went the Order of Souls.
That's the one where you go and you hunt down the Captain Skeletons and bring back the skulls.
And it's like this mystic thing, and so you get titles from it. But if like somewhere down the line, if you could have like little control of the weather or something like that would be helpful.
Spawn a
you know?
thunderstorm on your enemy ship.
Well, yeah, or
motherfucker.
dispel
Boost your
one,
sails.
or something like that. Boost your sails, draw up the wind, or something that's tough. I mean, that's not historically accurate, but it's supposed to be a game and fun.
I mean, you can shoot yourself
Skeletons
out of a
aren't
cannon in this game, so I don't think they're too worried about that.
I mean, I don't know.
Also, shooting yourself out of a cannon is one of the best touches.
It's the best thing. Except for when somebody is supposed to shoot you towards the ship and instead blast you across the goddamn ocean.
See,
When
that's the
did
most.
that happen? What?
That is one of the most fun things about this game is just fucking around with cannons and your friends. Like, I shot him out of a cannon, I pointed it like that way, and he went so far. It's so fun. But, I mean, it's kind of a disappointing conversation because all we're doing is like wishing the game had more stuff.
Yep.
And that stuff's not going to happen overnight, and it'll probably take like a year for this, hopefully a year for this game to like come back around and have a decent amount of stuff to do.
I agree, but we all agree that we enjoy playing with friends, and that the core gameplay loop is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you like to
What we're doing,
you laugh and you talk about it, and it sounds like a really fun experience.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
you're not going to go back and play the game.
what I see us wishing for is more game to play.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to go back and play it if I can't organize 3 other people to play with me.
But even if you can, how many times are you going to do that? Because like I'm down to play a few more times, but then like it's going to get old. Like I know it's going to get boring for me.
Like,
Yeah. And they should give you a little more control. The lobby thing you were talking about is like, if I was at Rare and Microsoft right now, the first thing I would do, obviously this game is built towards Twitch streaming, or streamers or Let's Players.
It's
in
very
general.
watchable.
And
There's a lot of fun that happens. that
Yeah.
you just see.
I would get 4 to 6 crews of 4 people each from Twitch groups or Let's Play groups, and get them playing against each other and do that and show all the different stories.
Yeah.
But even in the Let's Play family, you guys can't do that. You can't do like Screw Attack versus Achievement Hunter versus Funhouse versus Couch Hop. You can't.
There's no way. You just
there's
go
no way
home.
you can do it.
Yeah.
But we would do that in a heartbeat if we had the ability to do it.
Yep.
yeah.
What I would recommend to people who are interested in this game currently is just, hey, they've
the
got
Game
that
Pass
Game
thing.
Pass trial. That's like the perfect amount. Don't buy it now. Like, just test it out, have some fun with it for a week, and then see what they do to fix it later, like what they add.
There's definitely no way I would recommend spending $60 on this game.
No,
Even though it's fun.
But for Game Pass, I think it's a good value.
Yeah.
I totally would recommend buying it. I think it's a great game. I think the core is great. I have a lot of fun playing it. I'm also selfishly, I want this game to succeed because I want to see what this game looks like in a year.
I do
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
and I just wish it was there today.
Right.
But you can't tell people to buy something based on that.
Right, I absolutely want it to succeed, but like I think most people will get a few hours of fun out of this, and for $60, it's just so steep. But you're right, Game Pass is a great way to do it.
And I understand that criticism, totally agree with it, but it doesn't apply to me for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah.
You like being a pirate.
Yeah, it's fun. I just have fun. I like sailing the boat. I loved Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yeah.
I loved Sid Meier's Pirates, and this is just the next logical progression in that.
Like, dude, the concept behind the game, the execution of what's there is fun, dude. It's super fun.
It's super great.
Like,
It's just that it's maybe not. It doesn't have $60 worth of meat on it right now.
Right.
But I think it will. But you're right. It's hard to be like, you should definitely invest because it's gonna be great.
If they do
someday.
things
That's
correctly in the
tough.
future.
Right.
But for now, like Game Pass gets you access, fun to play. When you get tired of it, you're done.
yep.
Yep.
Cool. All right, we have a couple of other things to talk about too. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you all. Good to see you all.
I don't know that you want to stay for the
Sorry.
current events discussion. So
I don't know.
get out.
I feel like Columbus came back and goes, yeah, the world is flat. You know? Sorry, everybody.
And on that note, we got a couple of current events, newsy things to talk about. All right, couple of things happening. One of them, Bethesda is talking about new projects that they're working on.
Okay.
Like this much. But Todd Howard, who works Bethesda Game Studios, made Fallout 4, made Skyrim, Oblivion. He's
Pretty big deal.
pretty big deal. There's this podcast called the AIAS Game Maker's Notebook. It's like AIAS is the industry body that puts on like the DICE Awards and stuff like that. So he did this podcast and was talking about how they're in the middle of, quote, an animation system change we're doing right now that we're finishing for one of our projects. Though that's a project that's in pre-production getting a new animation system, whereas the one that's in full production is using the old one. So that's the extent of what he said.
They
Okay.
didn't drop any like hints, like
No, but
old rolls of paper.
Unfortunately, no. But the basis being that they do have at least one game that is in full production. So, not pre-production, not planning, nothing like that, but it's in full-on production. And they have another one that's like in the wings in pre-production. And this is and it's because it's Todd Howard, it's going to be Bethesda Game Studios as opposed, likely that's what that's an assumption that we're making at least, as opposed to like an Obsidian or one of the other developers that Bethesda works with frequently.
Watch the new animation software specifically be to fix female character faces.
Oh my God! So fun story about that. And this is back in the day when I first joined Fragdolls, so it would have been 2004, 2005. When did they announce Xbox 360? That was 2005.
It came out in 2005. It came out in November 2005. So
Okay, there was, but they had so it would have been 2005 because this was like a preview event where they were showing off a bunch of the games. And so I went to this, and I met a young Pete Hines, who was the PR guy that was babysitting Oblivion, and I was like, I'd come off Morrowind, and I loved it, and I was like making mods for it and playing it constantly. It was incredible, and having the best time. And then, oh my God, Oblivion! I cannot wait. This is gonna be so exciting. And so I neglected a lot of my Ubisoft duties at this event because I just like sat there to play Oblivion. I must have spent 45 minutes in that character creator bitching to him about how I couldn't make her hot. And he was like, well, we do have like female developers working on this. And I was like, not real good. I was just,
to be fair,
I must have been insufferable.
Yeah. The male characters in that game also look like garbage.
That's why you pick a cat person.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think they got better. Like with Skyrim was okay. It was definitely a step up from Oblivion.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they've got like a whole system for that now. That would be great.
They've just had that stigma for so long.
I know, but there are games that do it so well now. Like I really like Monster Hunters. Monster Hunter World had a really fun character system, and the characters like came out great in the game engine as well. I remember Mass Effect Andromeda also suffered from that for a while, where it was impossible to make like a hot femme rider. And I must have re-rolled 2 or 3 times. Well, okay, 4 or 5 times to just like trying different configurations. And thank God there was this Share Your Rider subreddit where it would show the finished product and then it would show all the settings to get to that character. And so I could finally make my hot rider and play and then get my game-breaking bug and then resent the game forever. Yeah. Real exciting stuff. But back to Bethesda. So they're fully working on something. So, potential new Fallout.
We'll see. Potential
new Elder Scrolls. That one's interesting because in 2016 they said not to expect it anytime soon. He did. He said no Elder Scrolls anytime soon, and Pete Hines said that it wasn't even in pre-production.
Because people are still playing Skyrim, and they're still putting it
on everything.
Well,
He's right.
They're also still playing Elder Scrolls Online. That's what he was like. Well, yeah.
I think they want more people to be doing that. But I love Elder Scrolls, and the thing that tempted me the most to try Elder Scrolls Online was Morrowind.
Yes.
But I didn't stick around.
That's because they took when you played it at launch, it was like you got so excited and you were like, "Oh my God, they're finally making an MMO based off the Elder Scrolls series." Like I was so hyped.
It's a great world.
Yes.
There's so much cool lore. I like everything about that idea.
Yes, me too. And then you go in and it was like they took the worst elements of like MMOs and the worst elements of the Elder Scrolls series and combined them to make this game. I was so mad because I'm a big MMO player and I just absolutely hated it. And then apparently now it's good.
Yeah, they did a lot of course corrections. When I remember when it came out, they were charging for it and then doing the monthly subscription.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, guys, no one does that model anymore. Yeah. That's not the way anyone does it. And they were like, well, we're doing it. And then it didn't work out. And they're like, we're changing it.
Yeah.
So they did learn a lot, I think, from the launch of the game. They made a lot of changes. They improved it drastically. I don't play MMOs, so I didn't stick around. The problem is if I let myself commit to it, I'm gonna real commit.
Yeah.
And I just don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I have so many other games and experiences that I need to be playing. And so I didn't stick around even for Morrowind.
Yeah.
But the other option is this could potentially be that Starfield game that we've heard rumored for a very long time. Which, have you guys heard much about that?
No.
Ben, you want to look up the premise of Starfield? My details of it, my memory is fuzzy because they've only spoken about it very vaguely, or it's been rumored or leaked not in any sort of definitive terms. So this will be a fun little test to see if my brain is faulty. But as I recall, it's supposed to be some new IP that somehow manages to tie the Fallout universes and Skyrim universe together in some way. You make that face. I make that face too. I don't know why.
That's
but
weird.
I seem to recall it being maybe space-based. Space-based!
I'll take a space.
In the end, it was aliens.
I would take a space-based Bethesda game. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's so they've got their dystopian, shooter game with Fallout, and they've got their fantasy game with Elder Scrolls, and this would be space
fantasy shooter.
Right.
Finds it all.
It turns out their final name, Destiny.
Man, Destiny 2, God, it's just been sad to watch.
But you know,
that game die.
Destiny is another example of a game that had like a launch where people played it and were like, I think I'm done. But then they did recover. They recovered really well. It
Destiny
took
1,
some
yeah.
expansions. You know, it took them a while, but they did recover.
I played a ton of Destiny because I love shooters and MMOs. So like, I was like, okay, cool. And like, you know, then I got into it. I was like, okay, this is very casually MMO, right? You know, it's like
MM-ish.
To be fair, Destiny 1 had a lot more content than, I don't mean to ruffle any feathers, but Destiny 1 had more content than Sea of Thieves has right now.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, it did. And I'm gonna like. My friends got me back. We played a lot of Destiny 1, so like I was clearing raid and hard mode like day one, and like we would go through, and then it just got boring, and we finished everything. So I'd leave, and then some new thing I'd come back. That was my relationship with Destiny 1. Destiny 2 comes out, start playing it, get to do the raid, and then there's like again like nothing. So I fell out of it, and like I had bought the season pass foolishly. So then I was like, oh, I've got this expansion. And I didn't even have the desire.
Nope.
Like I logged in once since I got the expansion, and then everybody had the fucking beam gun. I forget what the name of it is. That's all PvP became about that. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I just don't even have the desire to go in and do anymore. And then I'm on the subreddit because every time I get into a game I like, I always like find the subreddit, right? And I've just been watching the player base just drop off and bitch and bitch and bitch and talk about how they ruined it. Like they completely fucked Destiny
That
2.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like
It sucks.
their
So-
player base now is so down. It's crazy.
From what I found on Starfield, it looks like Bethesda put out a trademark for the game in 2013 and then renewed it in 2016. And then in 2017, someone posted on 4chan with an account that hinted at some things they were going to be announcing for Fallout 4 and just kind of like Skyrim in general, and those turned out to be true. And then grouped in with those as well, they announced that Starfield was going to be announced at E3 2017, which was not
It was
true.
not.
But from the details they've posted, if this can be trusted, because they like the things they said about Fallout 4 and Skyrim ended up being true, it sounds basically like a space dystopian cyberpunk video game with humans, robots, like space elves, all as races. It basically sounds like the space version of
Space elves.
Fallout and
Nope.
Skyrim.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe it doesn't officially tie them together, but takes
It just has like,
influences from both.
you know.
Got it.
All right, so brain was a little bit faulty. Bad job, brain. But I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna have to race Cyberpunk out?
I think they're
Cyberpunk
going to
2077?
be different games. I'm expecting.
Oh, I think they'll be super different. That's like, well, you know, the Witcher in the way that like the Witcher is, even though they're both fantasy based, very different than a Skyrim.
Yeah.
They're still like they exist in a similar genre with similar styles even, but they're very different games and very, very different experiences.
Yeah.
And I would expect that Cyberpunk 2077 and this one would be similar. But I also feel like one will come out and then the narrative will be the other one copied it, no matter what.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying. Interesting. Well, I hope we hear about it at E3. I mean,
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I don't know what they've got planned for E3. They did confirm that they're going to be doing their evening press conference on Sunday,
Yeah.
and that's really all we know so far. But in other news, Battlefront 2 has rolled out their changes. So they
I heard about
announced
that.
they announced late last week that they were going to be revamping their progression. We knew microtransactions were going to come back. They were very clear about that from the moment they removed them.
Yep.
But here's what they've changed. They posted a blog last week saying, since release, we've been hard at work making changes based on your feedback. Read, oh God, you all left. We
Yep.
need to do something to create a better game for all our players. Today, we're happy to announce the Star Wars Battlefront 2 progression update, which includes a complete redesign of the in-game progression system, which begins rolling out March 21st. So it's out. So it says, 1, progression is now linear, so star cards or any other items that might impact gameplay will only be earned through gameplay and cannot be purchased. So what you earn instead is experience points for the classes and hero characters and ships that you play.
Okay, we're sorry about pay to win.
Yeah, basically. Like, oops, we're all right, we're walking back across that line. Good job. And then if you earn enough experience points, you gain a level for that unit, and you receive a skill point that can be used to unlock or upgrade the eligible star card you'd like to equip. So that's good.
Yep.
You do keep everything you've already earned and unlocked. So that means if you had it, but no, here's the thing. The pay to win was a serious issue, but they did take it out before the game launched. Like, it was day of. It was like
Yeah.
the night that the game was gonna launch, they pulled it. So there are people that do have, that would have been able to take advantage of the star cards, just like by buying all that stuff. But
it's limited.
It's limited to early access, which admittedly would be a lot of like really hardcore players.
Yeah,
but
ones
they
that are
also
still
didn't
playing.
have that much time to sink all their money into
Yeah.
it. It would have been over a couple of days, and they wouldn't have known that the pull was coming.
Right.
So.
Plus, they can't. I mean, they can't take it away. They
Yeah,
grumble however you will for whoever. If people paid for it, they'll.
Right. You want to be like, oh no, then it still sucks. But it's like you can't. You don't want to take stuff away.
Yeah. Then they'll start asking for refunds. It'll be this whole big pain in the ass.
Right. So crates no longer include star cards and cannot be purchased. Crates are things you earn by logging in daily or completing milestones and going through time challenges. And then the crates have credits or cosmetic items like emotes or victory poses or anything like that. Hopefully a pink fader. We need pink fader. Am I right? Yes. Don't shake your head at me.
No, give me a hip hop stormtrooper, but no Pink Vader.
Hip hop stormtrooper. All right.
And then starting in April, you'll be able to get appearances directly through in-game credits or crystals. So you'll be able to, from the sounds of it, this is pretty great. Instead of just like
Paying for cosmetic.
instead of like loot boxes where you just like hope for the best,
Right.
it says you'll be able to get appearances directly through in-game credits or crystals. The first new
cool.
appearances are coming soon, meaning you'll be able to grab new looks for your heroes and troopers directly by using either credits, which are earned in-game, or crystals, which are available to purchase in-game and through first-party stores. So it'll be, again, cosmetic only. So if you want to be part of the resistance as a, Rhodian, is that?
Where?
Sounds right.
Where's Blaine? How do you pronounce Yavin? Your chance is right around the corner. So that's the meat
Okay.
of what they're updating. So basically, they've gone. They've fixed it.
Yeah, so it sounds, I mean, like the takeaway is that the gamers kind of won a little bit. Like the only microtransactions are for cosmetic items that you can choose what you get rather than loot boxes.
Right.
That's what
Imagine
that
how
sounds like,
different the narrative around this game would be if they just released 6 months after their initial, instead of, they just push their release back 6 months and put it out like this. Imagine
Yeah.
how different the narrative,
Yeah.
people would be excited to play it and not feel burned.
Yep.
Because I'm not gonna go back after this. I still don't care.
See, and that's what I'm worried about with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
It's that same thing. Even then, they make changes, and now it's such a better experience or whatever. And I'm not saying Sea of Thieves obviously had a much better launch than they did, but where do you for some reason gamers hold on to that? They have that I felt burned, so
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah, I don't want to say this is too little because it's not. I think this is what they needed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do think that for a lot of core gamers, it's too late.
Yeah.
So it's enough, too late. And I think that's unfortunate. But we may also be underestimating it. It is a Star Wars
Star Wars,
property. It still sold like crazy in December. It sold to all the people that were not following this whole saga of microtransactions and loot boxes who didn't care. It was the new Star Wars Battlefront game, and they were going to get it.
Yeah.
So it still sold very well to a lot of those people. Those people, like mainstream consumers, and Star Wars is a property that it may very well continue to do well.
Right.
And this is their post-launch monetization strategy. They're not doing a season pass. They're like any content that they release is supposed to be released for free because they had this alternate monetization model post-launch. So I'll be very curious to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
If there are enough players left, basically, who are going to put money into these cosmetics to fund whatever DLC it is that they have planned.
Yeah.
Or, had planned. I don't know, maybe they'll pull a Mass Effect. Still bitter about that. Okay, moving right along. Final news that I just want to go over really quick. Xbox's exclusives strategy. And this is, it's interesting in the light of something like Sea of Thieves, where I again, just want to stress, I really love the crossplay. I love the cross-buy, even if it is Windows Store, and that can be a little bit confusing at times. But they're also looking at potentially taking some of their franchises more the Minecraft route, where it's available on non-Microsoft properties. To be fair, they didn't own Mojang when a lot of those deals were signed, like for PS3. But did Nintendo come after? It might have. And I think they had 3DS in the works, but I think the Switch stuff would have come way after the acquisition. So they still put the game out for a Nintendo console. And so that's been a big question is, because they've been talking about this potentially going beyond their own platforms before, and it looks like they're going to use cloud to do it. So Kevin Gamble, who's the head of cloud gaming at Microsoft, specifically used Minecraft as an example. He said, we've right now sold 144 million copies across PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and mobile devices. So when looking at where we're going, it's really about how we grow our business above and beyond console. Read Xbox. And he also said, we're not leaving the console business behind by any means. We're continuing to invest there. The premium living room experience today is on Xbox One X, and we hope to continue that for years to come. But when you think about how we are going to broaden our business, we need to think beyond console to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, so I was a huge Microsoft fan, but we were talking about it a little yesterday. Like Xbox 360, like those were my go-to consoles, right? And then with this generation, like I honestly thought Sony kicked their ass. So like I switched to PS4 for console, but also like I'm a PC gamer at heart, and all the like I appreciate that they did this like cross-buy stuff, but like I cannot tell you the last time I turned on my Xbox One. Because as a fighting game player, I bought that for Killer Instinct, right? Which is a fantastic game, by the way. So like played Killer Instinct like crazy, and then they were like, and now Killer Instinct is cross-buy. And I'm like, it's been fun, Xbox One. And like, I just fired up on PC. I seriously can't remember the last time I turned on my Xbox One.
For me too, like there's really like when the decision between Xbox One and PS4 came out for me, there was some stuff about no used games on Xbox that was like that sours the experience. That was changed. But then like Bloodborne was a confirmed exclusive for PS4, and that was like that sold me on that. But like I still might have bought an Xbox down the line if their exclusive lineup was good. But with everything becoming cross-buy, like I can just play it on PC. I have no reason to ever buy an Xbox or play it. I actually have an Xbox in a closet. I have no reason to ever. I have no reason to ever play an Xbox One.
Well, see, I think though that they're trying to approach this from a slightly different perspective, which is if you're a PC player and you're playing their games, you're still one of their customers, and that's what's important to them. Like you're still interacting, you're still an Xbox customer, you still got your live account. I mean, you're not paying for Xbox Live on PC, that's free, but you are still you're interacting and you're interfacing with the brand and you're spending money with them. Yeah. You are still getting the games. If someone like I love PC gaming, and if there are a lot of PC games that I'm like, I need to play this on PC. Sometimes I really do just want to kick back and I want to use a controller. I want to sit on the couch. I want to do it that way. And I like doing that's why I like console gaming a lot of ways. And sometimes I will prefer to play, like I've been playing Sea of Thieves on Xbox because I just like to kick back.
And that's not like
I think it's just different types of players and different priorities, and they're trying to service that and accommodate that instead of forcing you into getting this one thing.
And that's like I'm happy if their focus is on like just putting out titles and stuff, and like instead of focusing 100% on like getting everyone to buy their console. I just don't see like how their console would survive if next generation comes around and Microsoft is like, all of our games will be on Xbox and PC, and PS4 is like, well, some of our games will be cross-platform, but a lot of the exclusives will be exclusive. Like I'm always going to buy PlayStation, and I'll just keep my PC because I have a PC. Like,
and you know, and
then I understand wanting to play on a console, because I do too. But that to me, that's like for myself would be too much of more of a luxury than anything else. I'm still going to get to play it's only been a couple Xbox exclusives that I've played. I've played some of Gears of War 4, I think it was, some Cuphead, now Sea of Thieves, and maybe Recore. And so it's been like 4 games in the whole generation that I've even bought on cross-buy. So I couldn't justify a console for that.
Now, one thing to keep in mind too, and like, this is me just getting out of my own mentality, because I've been PC gaming forever, right? And so I have that setup. But sometimes I don't think about that. There's more involved with getting a game running on PC and getting running well. It's much easier for your average player to just fire up a console. Yeah. So it's hard for me to not so I'm trying to think about that aspect of it, and I'm sure that will help. There's so many people like that, especially younger kids and just people who aren't as tech savvy, that want to, and also it's expensive to have a gaming PC, right?
Totally.
So I think that market, there's probably a good chunk of that's going to help them get through.
Yeah, I think it still exists. I don't think the console market is going to go away. I think you're right that they'll have a difficult time convincing PC gamers to buy an Xbox. But I think there is still a healthy market out there of people who just want a console.
Sure.
But I think it is an interesting mentality for them to take, and as a way to like grow their business, that they would even think of putting things on PlayStation or Nintendo or mobile. Like their first party properties. Those are the ones that are the most valuable for them.
I think the real thing that they're going to need to consider is with cross-buy and cross-play, the only area that could be a really big problem is FPS. Because if they release like new Halo and you can get it on Xbox One and you can get it on PC, you do not need to have those players playing against each other. There's a huge advantage to playing on a mouse, so that, like, it will ruin console experience.
Yeah, fortunately, I'm sure they're taking something like that into account.
Yeah.
Like it's not their first time around the rodeo. But I mean, you'd be forgiven for thinking so, because the announcement for this console was a little trouble. But I have a lot of trust in Phil Spencer. I think he's pretty smart. I want to know what they're doing with their games lineup, because it's been thin as far as their first-party exclusives go. They've got Sea of Thieves, which I think needs to make some improvements. State of Decay 2 is coming out, and I think that's going to be really great. The first one was really, really awesome, but it's also like now an indie game with a great budget, as opposed to a game that seems designed AAA from the ground up.
Like Scalebound would have been.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm still sad about that, but I don't feel like they would have canceled it if it was in good shape.
Yeah.
Or if it was like shaping up to be a good game.
Yeah.
I don't disagree, but it looked so good.
It
That's the one where you fought the dragons and the dude had his headphones on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
And it was like a
so
co-op
much-
fantasy dragon
and it sounds,
fighting RPG.
The premise sounds awesome, but something has to have been wrong. Somewhere in that process. Either it was going to take 8 years to develop and they were like, we just can't do that. Or it wasn't fun. Or it's a thing that happens. Sometimes the projects just don't turn out the way you want. And it's hard for me to admit. I want to be really mad about it because Scalebound looked awesome and I was really looking forward to it. But my comfort is maybe it's better this way.
I want to ride the dragon.
Am I deluding myself here? And then they've got Crackdown 3, which
that'll come out one day.
It's
one
coming
year.
out someday. I don't know.
1 century. Who knows?
Maybe that whole 7-8 year development timeline isn't so far off base. Anyway, that's all the current events for this week. Talk about Sea of Thieves, talk about what we're playing, talk about Beachbody on Domain. Thanks again for sponsoring. Let us know if you're playing Sea of Thieves, what you think needs to be added into the game to make it a success. I'm sure Rare reads our comments. They definitely do, and can take your ideas and then take all the credit for them, and that'll be pretty dope. And if you're a Rooster Teeth First member, make sure you check out New Game Plus exclusively on the website for our first members, and we'll see you next week.